being lifted over the heads of the parents and the people. They hand me a 9-year-old child, a boy, paralysed from the waist down, but it's too heavy. I can't lift him. I have to lower him. But the moment his heels touched the ground, the Lord healed him. He started running around. And then the Lord healed 3 children born deaf and dumb. So if he wants to receive this Lord as Lord and Saviour, the hands went up every way. And he received Jesus as Lord and Saviour. When I got home, I put my hand over my head and said, Lord, what have I seen you do today? And the Lord said, I want you to reach every village in Uganda, in Kenya. I said, Lord, that will take 5 lifetimes. He says, I'll show you how. He raises up 50 people that want to become evangelists. They want to go out and evangelize these villages. There's only 2 problems. 1, they have no training. They barely know the gospel message. And 2, if only they had a bicycle. It's so far to walk. Went back home, ran some horse shows, sent them 22 bicycles, and sharing the bicycles, these 50 evangelists planted 50 churches within 6 months. I was then invited to the Philippines. Bishop Blanca sits me down. He says, I need to speak to you. He says, 30 years ago the Lord told me to put together a Bible school. This morning he told me to give you the Bible school. Me run Bible school? I don't think so. I'm only a writing teacher. Look what do you say about this one? And the Lord says, all is ready and prepared for it. So I had to receive the Bible school. And I was then invited over to Ghana. We started the first Bible school in Accra. That was the first Bible school we ever started. And within 6 months, there was a Bible school, Step Out of Faith Bible School, in all the 10 regions of Ghana. All the denominations working together to reach every village within their region. They're still hard at work doing that. It's made wonderful progress. Well, the ministry then took off, and the next thing it spread to 18 countries. And then it spread over to India and Pakistan and Burma. And I couldn't handle it all. Then God gave me the books to write. The books that are for sale here, except for the first Dare to Search for Truth, are all parts of the Bible school, where the Lord replaced the old-fashioned Bible school with his Bible school, which is much easier for Africans to understand. So he had to get me to start a Bible school first before he could then give me his Bible school. Well, I came back from Africa. I was going over about 8 times a year for 10 days to 3 weeks at a time. I came back extremely sick twice, once with malaria and once with typhoid. And both times meant 3 weeks in the foreign disease department of the hospital in Oxfordshire. Made me very weak, but God healed me 100%. And I said, Lord, why am I coming home so sick? And the Lord says, because I'm wanting to show you a better way where you can become more effective. I want you to teach your Bible schools by telephone from England, which started in Pakistan, with them coming into one of the villages and burning all the Christian homes. So our phone's absolutely desperate. I try and do something about it, and Barnabas Trust stepped in to feed them and clothe them in tents until they had their homes rebuilt somehow. A week later, Arif phones me and said, would you please speak to these Christians because they've lost everything, they're very hurt and unhappy. And so I shared with the Christians when all of the Lords said, pray for the sick. So I said, I believe there's some sick people amongst these Christians, 150 families, because God has just told me to pray for the sick. So put your hand on your sickness or your pain, and just receive your healing in Jesus' name. Well, the next minute, someone runs up and said, I am healed of body pain of 8 years. Another lady runs up. She says, I haven't been able to walk for 2 years, but the moment I laid my hands on my legs and say, be healed in Jesus' name, I can now walk. They were amazing healings. Well, this went out. These healings went out into all the Pakistani villages. And the next thing, the villages, these Muslim villages, asked Arif if I could come and pray for the sick in their villages, and I could give the gospel as well. Well, this gave me the next quite a number of years of giving the gospel message over the phone to Pakistan, moving further and further out into more villages, then praying for the sick, people being instantly healed, and then praying them through the salvation prayer. The next thing, people were coming in stretchers to the meetings and going home carrying their stretchers. The healings were absolutely incredible, and I realized God can heal just as powerfully over the phone as He can if you're standing there. And then the Lord said to me, I want to use you to bring revival to a country called Sierra Leone, and you don't have to go there. How, Lord? Says, I will show you how, as He always does. And next week I get a phone call from a man called Pastor Ball. Can I start a Bible school in Sierra Leone after seeing your website? I said, yeah, sure. Next week he phones. Will you please give me a sample lesson over the phone, how I should teach? So I did the armour of God. He says, I like that. That should go on local radio. If I organise local radio, will you give the same message on local radio? I said, yeah, if you want to. So the following week, I give my first radio program. There's a chief 2 hours away. He hears the program. He wants me to come and do a telephonic crusade in his town. This is the first crusade I'm doing. Big crusade. I give the gospel message, I pray for the sick, and apparently loads of people were healed. I pray the salvation prayer. The next day, near half the town turns up. And I began to pray for the sick. People were being healed everywhere. And the power, the wind of the Holy Spirit came in from the back of the tent. So that only happened twice in my ministry when that's happened. That God's done that. Everyone's crying. Many are crying in repentance. The Bible says the chief is next to me, with tears running down his face. He says, today, my town has turned from poverty to Jesus. The next invitation was by an Anglican bishop, a different part of Sierra Leone, and it got rained out. Friday night, Saturday night, or Sunday. I said, Lord, this isn't working very well. And I said, don't worry, it's in my control. Well, the people were so upset that they couldn't have the crusade, that Bobo went to the local radio station to ask if I could do a radio crusade, and I said yes. So I gave the gospel message over radio, I prayed for the sick, and I prayed the salvation prayer, and I asked those that wanted to testify and come to the Anglican church the next day, and many came and testified, and I realised that the Lord doesn't only heal over the telephone lines, but through radio and telephone lines. Then we got a phone call from another radio station who had listened in. It was 9:30 on a Friday. And he says, I would like you to speak on how to choose the right president. Oh dear. Starting now, just open the Bible anyway. Where the righteous rule, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. Now, why is the scripture saying these words? I believe it's because God wants a prime minister in Sierra Leone to rule the country in truth, righteousness and justice. Why? Because we are all battling with three curses on this earth: sin, sickness and death. How did sin, sickness and death get into this world? Well, the Bible tells us in Genesis that God created man in his image and in his likeness to walk with him in a love fellowship. And he gave man dominion over everything in the earth. But for love to be real, it has to be by free choice. So God gave man free choice. And if this free choice has got to be one thing at least that you're not allowed to do. So God said to Adam and Eve, you can eat of any fruit tree of this garden except for one tree, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. If you eat of it, you shall surely die. But we know Adam and Eve chose to disobey God and eat of that forbidden fruit, giving this perfect world that had no sin, no sickness, no death, over to the devil in exchange for the knowledge of good and evil. So this is how sin, sickness and death came into the world, and man has been battling with it because God says, cursed is the ground because of this that you have done. In toil and sweat you shall eat of it all the days of your life. So the devil is able to send sickness and stuff through the soil and also through the air. For we fight not against flesh and blood, but against the spiritual strongholds and high places. Ephesians. But God has done something about it. John 3:16, God loved the world so much, he sent his only Son. Those who believe on him shall not die, but shall have everlasting life. Jesus has now just reversed the curse. God gave one rule we were not allowed to do. God has now sent Jesus, giving one way where we can get right with God, except what Jesus has done on the cross. For Jesus rose on the third day from the dead in total and complete victory over sin, sickness and death, and then ascended to the Father where he's alive today, wanting to forgive our sins, heal our sick bodies, and give us eternal life. Only Jesus has conquered sin, sickness and death. No other person, no other religion, no other way. Only Jesus. I then led them through the sinner's prayer for those that wanted to receive Jesus, and then I prayed for the sick, and I handed back to the presenter, who said, we will now open the lines for those who would like to ask questions on how to choose the right president. Instead, amazing healing testimonies came through those lines. The first was cancer lumps. dissolving in 2 minutes. The second was a lady in hospital with acute appendicitis, instantly healed. The third was a crippled man who got up and walked. The fourth was an MP, one of the MPs was healed. The healings were outstanding. So now I knew how to do radio crusades. Well, the next thing, Ebola broke out. And Bobo was called down to Duratown to do a crusade. But now there's 9 people a day dying of Ebola. We're not allowed to do a crusade because it's too dangerous. And there's a lot of rioting with the young people because they said the police weren't doing anything and they're throwing stones. They lost hope, everybody was full of fear, and it was not a nice atmosphere. So I said to Bobo, try and arrange a radio crusade. So he went to the police and the police managed to arrange a radio crusade for 8:30 that evening. I gave the gospel message, I prayed the salvation prayer, and I began to pray for the sick when God said as clear, take authority over Ebola. Well, can you imagine, I was, but then I remembered John G. Lake took authority over a plague in South Africa that was killing thousands of people. The moment he prayed, God took the plague away. So I thought to myself, if God can do it for John Lake, what's the difference then? If he's told me to do it, I've got to do it. Now that took a couple of seconds of stalling, and then I took authority against Ebola. And I commanded it, bow the knee and leave Duratown and never come back again.